Picture this. You step into a packed arena, every eye fixed on the ring. Oleksandr Usyk stands tall, undefeated, his fists ready to write another chapter in boxing history. Yeah, we know him as the guy who collects titles like I collect soccer jerseys. Too many, my wife says. But here's a twist. Usyk isn't just KOing heavyweights. He's KOing the business world, too. Seriously, how many athletes do you know who go from winning Olympic gold to investing in tech startups and launching a blockchain platform? Most would buy a flashy car. Usyk. He buys a stake in the future. Today on Kickin Riches, we're diving into both sides of this champ's story. His wild achievements in the ring and his surprisingly sharp business moves outside it. Ever wondered how a world champ manages his millions and sets up for life after boxing? Hang tight, because Usyk's game plan is about to inspire you and, honestly, might just change the way you see athletes forever. Let's lace him up and jump in. Let's rewind to where it all began. Usyk's rise wasn't your average underdog story. In 2012, London, a city known for Big Ben and apparently spawning global boxing legends, Usyk won Olympic gold in the heavyweight division. That's like winning the Champions League for boxers, and it put his name on the map in neon lights. What I love here? He didn't let that medal gather dust. He turned pro straight after, laser-focused and ready to shake up the scene. And shake it up he did. By 2018, Usyk had snagged every single cruiserweight world title: WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO. All of them. Becoming undisputed champ in that division is almost mythical. It's rarer than a penalty shootout that doesn't make you sweat. He beat top dogs like Murat Gassiev and Tony Bellew, staying totally undefeated. Talk about technical brilliance and stamina for days. Some call him the absolute world boxing champion. I just call him relentless. That stretch? It made Usyk a legend long before he ever put on a few more pounds and went hunting in heavyweight territory. Here's the thing. You could stop his story here and he'd still go down as one of the greats. But trust me, Usyk was just getting warmed up. Ready to see how he took on the big boys? So imagine you conquer your whole field. What's next? Most people would chill, right? Not Oleksandr Usyk. After dominating cruiserweight, the guy went, let's see how I stack up against the giants. By late 2019, Usyk made his move up to heavyweight, the crown jewel of boxing. First, he took on Derek Chisora, but the real shocker came in 2021. Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. Everyone thought Joshua was too big, too strong, well, British. But Usyk outboxed him for 12 rounds and walked away with the WBA, IBF, and WBO heavyweight titles. Then, just in case anyone thought it was a fluke, he did it again a year later. Beat Joshua in the rematch. Legendary status achieved. If you thought that was the peak, fast forward to 2023. Usyk versus Daniel Dubois, Wembley. He knocks out Dubois and grabs even more gold. At this point, the collection's getting ridiculous. He's basically one belt away from boxing immortality, setting up that epic clash everyone's buzzing about. Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Let's be real. Most people don't get this far in one division, let alone two. Do you think he'll unify all the heavyweight belts next? Let me know in the comments, because Usyk's got us all betting on greatness. But what happens when the gloves come off? That's where the story gets really interesting. All right, here comes the plot twist. Usyk, the fighter, becomes Usyk, the tech entrepreneur. Yeah, you heard me. I had to double-check the headlines too. In 2023, Usyk jumped into the world of startups and co-founded Ready to Fight. But this isn't some generic app. It's a blockchain-based boxing platform. Sounds fancy, right? Here's the quick breakdown for non-techies, like myself before all this research. Blockchain is basically a super secure online ledger. No one person's in charge and everything's transparent. Usyk's platform is about connecting boxers, fans, and sponsors in real time. You can imagine down the road, fans holding digital tokens tied to their favorite fighters or accessing exclusive content. Yeah, it's that next level. Most champs cash their checks and maybe buy a Lambo, but Usyk, he's using tech to rewire the entire sport. Kinda genius, right? He even said the most important part is collaboration of teams and integration of experience. It's classic Usyk. No ego, just building a future together. I have to say, as someone who loves when sports cross paths with innovation, this may be the coolest career second act I've ever seen. Have you ever thought about owning a digital piece of your favorite athlete? Would you trust boxing stats on the blockchain more than judging panels? Tell me below, because this is about to change how fans connect to the ring forever. So we've seen Usyk clean up in 2 weight classes and launch a tech platform. But the hustle doesn't stop there. What does a disciplined champ do with millions in fight purses and endorsement cash? Go on massive spending sprees? Nope. Usyk puts on his business hat and invests like a pro. Latest reports out of Ukraine, shout out to Kommersant and DIY say Usyk has gone full angel investor. He backed 2 cutting-edge international startups through a VC group called iClub. We're talking a legal tech company and even a mental health marketplace. Now that's thinking long-term, especially mental health, which is close to so many athletes' hearts these days. Here's what impresses me most. Usyk isn't flying solo. He invests alongside syndicates of smart people, sharing knowledge and lowering risk. That's how pros play. Unlike so many athletes who burn through fortunes buying yacht collections or gold-plated sneakers, seriously, look it up. Usyk is growing his wealth for the future and for his country, since those startups have Ukrainian roots. I honestly respect that. Would you rather splash out on supercars or build something bigger for the next generation? Drop your answer, I need to know. Bottom line, Usyk's financial game is as disciplined as his jab. He's showing all of us how to win in the real world, not just the ring. Let's bring it full circle. Oleksandr Usyk started out hunting Olympic gold, conquered 2 divisions, and ended up reimagining how athletes can build a legacy, both in and out of the ring. He's the rare champ who can unify titles and balance a tech portfolio, and he's changing the playbook for what an athlete's future can look like. Here on Kickin Riches, we love these stories where grit meets vision. I hope Usyk's journey got you thinking. If you had that kind of success, would you play it safe or invest in something bold? Let me know your answer, and if you're as pumped about the blend of sports and business as I am, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got way more stories of champions who win big on every stage. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me, Mark. Whether you're here for the boxing, the business, or just a little inspiration, you're always welcome back in the Kickin Riches corner. Till next time, stay ambitious and keep fighting for your goals.